Right, let's do this. Are we recording? Yes, it's hot takes time. You guys have been sending in your spiciest opinions to me. We had over 360 submissions this week. If you want to be involved next week, send it to whoever sends out the tweet. Patrick Van Straten's doing it with me. How are you today, mate?
Good. Ready.
Ready?
Ready.
Do the first one?
Bring on the spice.
Yes. The first one was sent in by John Booth.
The man who assassinated Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth.
This guy has so much knowledge. It actually sickens me how much you know.
What's his latest horror?
His latest
atrocity.
His latest crime is this hot take he has submitted, and he says Smalling has all the attributes to be a world-class centre-back.
Head, legs, torso.
They're not attributes, they're just body parts. Yes, he does have the body parts to do it. Congratulations, Chris, you've got 2 legs. Doesn't mean he's good at football. He's now 28 years old. He is not going to get any better. Please, God, United, sell him. Just get him off the books. He's been at United for 7 years now. 7 years, and he hasn't locked down the centre-back position. Genuinely, we've gone through 6 or 7 new centre-halves to try and replace him, and he's hung around like a disease. He's literally, we're going to have to get the plague doctors out if this doesn't move on soon. He's been linked to Wolves this summer. Even Fulham have rejected him. Where's he going to go?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Send him back to Maidstone, mate.
Fulham went for Alfie Mawson instead.
Oh, fair.
So that pretty much sums it up,
Alfie
doesn't it,
Mawson's
Christopher? Because you are 28 years old, you can't lock down the centre-back position, you've not been able to be stable alongside any of our other central defenders.
Weird beard choices as well.
Yeah, like very weird.
Little, like it looks like in Blade 2, you know, when their jaws can open here, and they're just like,
yeah,
that's what Chris Smalling's like when he spots. Just bleep that.
The next one was sent in by the real Adam Stubbs. Stubbsy! Stubbsinator! Stubmitter!
Stubinho!
Stub.com/Adam. It's going too far now, isn't it? Ready? He says Harry Winks is still the most promising English player at any.
Okay, at
any of the top 4 teams.
Okay, the top 4 teams, what are they? Tottenham, City, Liverpool, United.
Yes,
okay.
take last season.
I mean, Dele Alli's quite promising. Does that count? Rashford's quite promising. Like, I don't understand this argument.
It's a pretty nonsense argument.
Like,
he may be a little bit different.
He's
in playing
still
style.
the most promising. Like, if you're saying still the most promising, that kind of implies that his promise has perhaps dwindled a little bit, like since the last time we were talking about it. I think Dele Alli is probably going to be a star. Raheem Sterling already is a star. Like, Phil Foden looks like he might be quite good. Man United always seem to have youngsters coming through.
What I will say is, how old's Raheem? 24?
23.
23. So Raheem Sterling is currently 1 year older than Harry Winks. At what age do we stop saying promising and start saying he needs to be getting minutes on the pitch?
Yeah.
Because Raheem Sterling was a consistent contributor for a Premier League winning title side last season. Raheem Sterling was a consistent contributor for a Premier League winning Manchester City side, one of the best sides we've ever seen in the Premier League last season, and he's a year older. So either Harry Winks is poor and not good enough to get into that Tottenham team, or he's no longer promising.
Or maybe, you know, he can be promising, but the most promising is insane. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold is 19 years old and is going to be a starting right back for a club who will compete for the League and Champions League next season. That is pretty good. Harry Winks, on the other hand, can't displace Wanyama or Eric Dyer.
Or
that, to me, is not great.
Moussa Sissoko. When Moussa's starting ahead of you, there's problems. This next one, clearly targeted at Van Straten from Brandon George. He says the Arsenal Invincibles team isn't even in the top 3 best Prem teams of all time. I mean, what do you think of that?
I think it's bollocks. But
What?
also it's just, you know, he's a coward. I know that about him because he hasn't listed the 3 that he thinks are better.
Yeah, absolute coward, Brandon.
So maybe, 98, 99 United,
Chelsea.
City from last season, and maybe Chelsea like 4-5 or maybe 9-10 under Ancelotti. I don't really care. Like, we've got a special trophy. Like, how many other Premier League teams?
Do you actually?
We've got a special little gold replica of the Premier League trophy made for Arsene Wenger. Because he's such an icon. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't actually care. I don't really need to rank them. You know what? We were good enough to win the league that season. We were good enough to go the entire season unbeaten. So I don't really give a how we stack up against a team from another era. It's like if I go downstairs to Chris Hamill and I say the Invincibles were better than Celtic were in 1968, that's undeniably true. They were all alcoholics. But he's going to still say, well, we won the European Cup though, didn't we? F off.
The next one was sent in by George Hartley. He says Harry Kane will never maintain the goal scoring consistency of... Add a sound effect in it. Jermaine Defoe. What the is happening with our audience? George Hartley, are you having a mental breakdown? I think Harry Kane is the fastest player in Prem history to get to 100 goals, isn't he?
Yes.
108 now he's on, isn't he?
Yes.
It is ridiculous for a player of his age that he is already on 108 goals. He's a genuine contender to chase down Alan Shearer's goal tally. And I never thought I'd say it.
Jermaine Defoe has scored a goal every 3 games during his time in the Premier League. So that means that Harry Kane could play another 150 games without scoring a goal, and he would still have a better goals to game ratio in the Premier League than Jermaine Defoe.
Absolutely mental.
You've gone wrong. He's got a better goals to game ratio than anyone in Premier League history. Shearer, Aguero, Henry, Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy, anyone you care to name. I mean, Jermaine Defoe did very consistently score goals, but like...
Only for a small portion of his career as well.
And not that many.
Horrendous at Bournemouth. Where was he at before that? Sunderland, was it?
Yeah, Sunderland.
Rotting there as well. Mystery, isn't it? Mystery. Take that check and run, Jermaine, because, you know...
Old age is coming for you.
Harry Redknapp, innit?
What?
Terrible ending to that one, but there's some good points in that. Martin Jakubek has the next one, and this one caused quite a bit of debate in our office. He says, Chelsea have the best attack in the league. Now, I'm going to put it out there, a spicy take from me, I think they've got the 6th best attack in the Premier League.
I don't think that's controversial. Maybe the 5th.
Seriously, maybe the 5th. It's pretty close potentially between them, Tottenham and United. Clearly Chelsea have a worse front three than Liverpool, than City, than... Arsenal. Yeah, God. Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette is stronger. Tottenham, I agree, stronger. Man United even, with Sanchez, Lukaku and Martial, probably stronger. So what the are you talking about? I don't even see Morata as being in the top 5 strikers in the league. Eden Hazard on his day, potentially up there as the best player, but that day comes once every 3 games. And Willian on the right-hand side, the 30-year-old that's being passed around European clubs like Kia Jubachan's. Might have to bleep that, but he's not the player he once was, and the never contributed or never scored more than 8 goals in a Premier League season. So what world are we living in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got nothing to add. Like, they scored the 6th most goals in the league last season. Like, they took fewer shots than the rest of the top 4. They took fewer shots on target than the rest of the top 4. Like, maybe they'll have a really good season under Sarri and all these players will improve. But right now, would you take that front 3 over anyone in the league? Like, over any of the top 5 sides? Like, no. Probably not. Like,
definitely
they scored 6 more goals than Leicester last season.
But you know, Demarai Gray, Vardy and Mahrez. Bang. This is a quick one from Philippe Gomez. He says, Zach Jalab has a better beard than Patrick Van Straten.
Zach Jalab doesn't have a beard.
He does. He's actually got a tasty beard.
It's not a beard.
What is it then?
It's the beginnings of a beard.
No, mate, I actually disagree. His
the
current
embryonic
beard state
stage
is
of a beard.
strong.
It's fine. He's done his best.
At one stage, Van Straten's beard was epic.
It was like
he has trimmed.
I have trimmed it. Look, Zach Jalab, he will take the torch. I will pass it to him. He will one day have the best beard on FD.
He's the Mbappe of beards.
Once I die, he'll have the best beard on FD. But before then,
Van Straten is currently like the Cristiano Ronaldo of beards, and you're seeing Mbappe of beards emerge in the form of Zach Jalab's facial hair.
All right, let's not go overboard. I reckon McCubbin, if he chose to, could have a superior beard.
Kieran's nodding behind the camera. He is an extremely hairy man. Do you know what he is, though? He's the Vinicius Jr. of beards. Nobody quite knows what to expect from him each day. Could come in with a goatee for all we know.
Oh, God, can you imagine?
The final one, then, was sent in by Football Daily's very own Adam Templeman.
Oh.
Yes, the clickbait king, the
hate
man
him.
with no polls. He says,
0 polls.
Manchester United should sack Jose Mourinho. Oh, that is spicy. Van Straten, what do you make of it?
It depends who they bring in. Like, give him another season, maybe. Like, it's not going to go that wrong. The worst it's going to be is 6th. Like, that would not be
That would
great.
be a disaster.
Oh, whatever. You're still gonna have tons of money. You're not gonna have a problem attracting players. Like, the issue right now is who they get in instead. And I know you said it's gonna be Zidane. If it's gonna be Zidane, then I'm not sure that's really an upgrade.
Do you know what? Mark my words on this show, by the end of the season, maybe by Christmas, I don't want to put an exact date on it, Manchester United's manager will be Zinedine Zidane.
Probably.
Cut that out and use it where you want to.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's going to happen. Jose Mourinho, I don't think should be sacked straight away, but it's coming. It's coming for us like the heat wave sweeping across Britain. You can feel it bubbling. And trust me, it's going to be ugly when it hits, because Jose Mourinho is going to take and tear and ruin as much of Manchester United as he can as we try to throw him out of the door.
Yes.
And he might well take Ed Woodward with him. 4 managers under Ed Woodward's 4-year reign.
Not great.
It's great, Ed.
Giggsy, season.
Great. Give it Giggsy, end of the season. But Jose, I actually expect not to make the end of the season and to be ripping Ed Woodward's pubic hair out with him.
I can't wait till he's Everton manager, 3 years' time.
Not Everton manager, he is going directly to China.
Ed Woodward's going to ship him there in a crate.
He will. And he'll get good deals as well, because we've probably got a shipping crate partner. So that's the end of Hot Takes this week. It was an absolute spicy mess on screen. So what an episode. Van Straten, what else is happening on the FD Network?
There's Stat Wars, regularly scheduled Stat Wars, and obviously Transfer Talk, Transfer Review, dealing with all the comings and goings in the transfer market. Make sure that you like and subscribe to both of our channels as well, and we'll see you next time. Bye.